So I'm a senior majoring in sociology with the Latin American, Latinx, and Caribbean Studies concentration, pursuing a certificate in business fundamentals. And also, as Chris mentioned, I will be in the contracts leadership development program over at Raytheon Technologies once I graduate. So first, I was made aware of the center through an introduction from my mentor, who got me involved in the Women in Business planning committee, which I am one of the co-chairs now. Um, and at first, I was hesitant about pursuing the business certificate because although I knew I wanted to go into business because I had the experience of Raytheon and I enjoyed the little bit that I did there before going into college, I was struggling with my classes and I wasn't sure if I would have the time to do a business certificate. So luckily for me, I was constantly encouraged to do it. And I finally sat down with Cassie Jeffrey from the office, who helped me to draw up a plan as to what exactly I would need to do in order to earn my certificate and how much time and effort it would realistically take, which I later found is completely doable. But it was much more about me realizing and writing down the steps so I can visualize it, just because that's really how I like doing things. So once I saw that, if I fit this into, fall of this year, and then later in the spring I do this and this, I worked it around my schedule so that it wasn't taking too much time away from my studies, and that I can have that time to, deal with my schoolwork. And then when it came up during the weekend, or when it was days off from vacation, I could pursue the business certificate and be able to do both. So before I jump into the requirements that I was just talking about and the steps to do that, I wanted to share with you a bit of overall information about the center. So the office's motto is major in anything, succeed in business. And um, it's a sociology degree. So coming in to college, I thought I wanted to do international relations, because through a bit of research that I had done, I knew that a lot of people in Raytheons who worked in contracts where I wanted to be were either poli-sci or international relations majors. So I just took it upon myself to be an IR major. And I took a couple classes and I found it wasn't anything that I was really interested in. And the classes just seemed like they would go on forever. But I took a sociology class and I was so interested in what I was learning, but I was really worried about, how do I connect this to the business world? How am I going to sell myself to say, yes, in comparison to maybe people who've graduated from Babson or Berkeley, who their classes are about business, how can I compare and how can I bring something different to the table when my major is in sociology, and how do people in society work as a whole? So that took a lot of back and forth and thinking through it, but I'm definitely very glad that I chose to pursue sociology as opposed to forcing myself to go down the route of international relations, because I've really enjoyed everything I've learned. And as I'll chat with you in a bit, it's much more about leveraging your experience and leveraging what you have to offer and doing something that you actually enjoy. So, and as it's talking about that, Holy Cross does not have a business major, because I think I would have definitely considered doing that. But regardless of that, 3/4 of our alumni are in a business related field. And I actually think that the lack of a business major actually does give us students an advantage. I think that coming from a liberal arts school does have its perks. You know a little bit of information about different things, and the Women in Business conference was just this Saturday, so that's fresh in my mind. And thinking through everything that the ladies there said about leveraging your liberal arts and what a good foundation of liberal arts education gives you, I think that it's important, because a liberal arts degree gives us the ability to think critically. We are taught how to write properly and really how to articulate ourselves so that when we're writing or when we're speaking or when we're presenting, most of the time, you have everything you have to say already planned out. And so you have a good path and you have a good foundation. And in most roles in business, not all, but in most, everything that you need to know specific to the job, they will teach you, but they can't teach you how to think critically. Holy Cross does, and that's part of that liberal arts and connecting different modes of thinking and different subjects within your education. So you have that little bit of knowledge. You know a little bit about the sciences, you know a little bit about math, you know a little bit about the social sciences. So, and you're an expert in your major, but you have that background of information that is super useful, and especially thinking about it in terms of what my future job is going to be in contracts. Contracts folks deal with the customer, but they also deal with the internal customer, meaning people from finance. So I need to know a bit about that. We deal with supply chain, and so there's some skills that goes into that. And we also deal with the engineers who have a completely different way of thinking about things than maybe I do, because they see things in sciencey and math ways that I personally don't. But having taken those classes, because I had to take social stats for sociology, and I also took econ for the common requirements. So having that information gives me a bit of a better knowledge than someone who didn't have to take those. But coming back to specifically within business, I think that it really does come down to leveraging your experiences. And one of the best ways to do it is through a business certificate, because they teach you a great abundance of information so that you have some of that knowledge in your back pocket with foreign experiences to draw upon during interviews, which I most definitely found helpful these past few weeks when I was doing interviews for the position. But it also showcases to your future employer that you took your education into your own hands and you went above and beyond to be better prepared, so that you're bringing something more with you than other potential employers might be bringing from other schools. So the office is 3 certificates. It has the business fundamentals, which is the one I'm pursuing. It has the entrepreneurship one, and it has the finance and banking one. And sometimes when I have conversations with students, what they ask me is, which one do I think is better? And I think that all 3 are fantastic. They vary in the focus, which is geared towards the 3 fields within that. But it's really up to you what fits you better, what you envision yourself pursuing in the future. Um, for me, as I said, I wanted business fundamentals because they would give me a bigger overview. But I have friends, my roommate last year, she was doing the finance and banking because she wanted a job in Wall Street. So it depends what you're looking to do and where your interests lie. The 3 certificates have the same requirements. It's a series of workshops, Excel tutorial, recommended courses, internship, and lastly, a job shadowing, which the entrepreneurship actually does not require. But the certificates are geared this way to make sure that we as students get the most out of the program. So all the workshops, with the exception of Fullbridge, are taught by alums in the field who donate their time because they see the value in the certificates. And not to mention that it also serves as a good way to broaden your network. You're meeting alums and you're getting that face time and you're getting that knowledge from them specifically. And I'm still in contact with my Fullbridge coach, who isn't a Holy Cross grad, but we were able to get this relationship set, and she's amazing. She's on top of her field. She was actually one of the designers in Walt Disney, which is, I just, it's different, and it's definitely out there, but she has so many connections. The other day she sent me a podcast to listen to. So it's different things, and she always gives me good advice when I'm thinking ahead and have those questions that I wouldn't know who to turn to. I go to her and I send her a quick text, and she replies right away, and she's amazing. And I met her through doing the full bridge, which is one of the requirements for the business fundamentals. Um, and I know that depending on what year you are, job shadowing and internships might seem a bit overwhelming, but the career development office is really great at helping you set those up and getting that experience. And a lot of it is through Holy Cross alums. And I mean, I don't know how much you've heard it, but I always heard it like, oh, the Holy Cross alumni base is so great. Holy Cross alums are so glad to talk to you. And I found that that is most definitely the case. Complete strangers, once they learn that you go to Holy Cross, if they've been there, they will open up their schedules to fit you in, to chat with you, to see, and to help you, because they realize the power in the Holy Cross education, and they want to put that forward, and get that legacy of the Holy Cross student going. So the center, the career development office is really great at getting you those skills. And I'll put in the chat later the link for the registration. I just don't have access to it right now. And apart from the certificates, the Ciocca Center also has some student-led clubs, which you can join. And I will add the link to that as well. But the clubs offer you with the opportunity to get involved in current events, discussions organized with fellow students, at network with alumni. I am part of the Women in Business Planning Committee, and also part of the club. And it's good because they do different events that you can join, and you get that experience from the alums, but you also get to talk to other students who have similar interests to you, and you might have not necessarily met them from classes or knew that they had those exact interests as you. And so it's good to get that, and especially in this virtual world, I know that it can get sometimes a little hectic with the Zoom, and everyone has Zoom fatigue. But if you have something that you're interested in, that you're going to be engaged with, it's a good place to be, and it gets you those skills that help build your resume and give you experiences to draw upon when you're doing interviews. I most definitely did find those helpful. There's a lot of questions, and they're like, tell me about a time, and then they ask you something. So having that to draw upon and having real experiences really does help you and make you stand out. So apart from the certificates, the clubs are also very helpful with that. Thank you all so much for being here. Please consider me as a resource. I know sometimes it can be a little overwhelming going to someone or going to office hours and you don't know what to ask. I can talk a lot. You can just call and say, like, just ask general. Like, I'm interested in the entrepreneurship, and I can go on for like 5-10 minutes. So don't worry about having questions, specific questions. I included my Canvas chat, but I will include my Holy Cross email. Feel free to send me an email and say like, hey, I want to chat. I can give you a call. We can do Zoom. We can text. I mean, whatever's easier for you. I know we're all getting spammed with emails. So if email doesn't work, I totally get that. I'm really flexible. But yeah, I think you should definitely consider doing a certificate. If you're on the fence, chat with me. We can go into more detail. And I don't know if there's any science or I know that a lot of people that I know are pre-med or stuff like that. And something that I was chatting with Chris was, regardless of what field you want to go into, if you think about it, Holy Cross as a school, as an institution, is a business because they're making money even though they're nonprofit. Hospitals are a business. We all know, or if you don't know, you will soon find out once you graduate how expensive health insurance is. And because we live in such a capitalist economy, a lot of things which should be public goods are actually not. They're businesses. So even if you you're like, I don't really think I want to go into business. Think about it in the sense that a lot of public goods and a lot of things that you use um, come from a business, from a corporation. Um, so just do it. Do the business certificates. Not that much more work added on to the regular course. And I mean, as Holy Cross students, we're awfully bombarded with stuff. It's doable. You can definitely do it to set yourself up to do it. Um, so I don't want to keep rambling, but for sure, reach out, please. Let me finish typing my email. Please send me an email or go into the office hours. We can chat. And I'm definitely open to chatting specifics with you all. Thank you again for being here. And Chris, thank you for the collaboration. This was great.
Yes, thank you all for joining us today. And please don't hesitate to reach out for more information. What I got from this was that it doesn't hurt to sign up and participate. It's just an added bonus to your Holy Cross experience and journey. So wishing you all the best as we continue to navigate the fall semester, and good luck with everything.